my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is the grand finale. If you thought the semi-grand finale, the previous part, was big, this blows that away. Just blows it away. These are all the big books from this unboxing. There's some really awesome books in this part. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. You'll hopefully be as blown away as I am. These are pretty awesome books. What happened was, these are all my Heritage Auction wins. I was putting in lowball bids on big books. Like Action 1, I got to put $100 bid. No, it was like really like cool, like just cool stuff. And I'd put like, you know, bids in. If I won, I'd be happy. If I didn't, you know, I would be sad. But I was putting in really like very competitive bids, like under fair market value kind of bids, to see what cool things I could win. And I won some pretty cool things. These are all awesome books. This is like, seriously, these, if you haven't watched the other parts, there's some really awesome books in the other parts of this series, but this will, you can see why this is a grand finale once you see the books. So let's get right into it. Enough preamble. These are my Heritage Auction wins, the big books from the series. So the first very big book, and this is a big one. I have to take it out of the plastic so you can actually see it, is Nellie the Nurse #1. And a 3-0. Doesn't say who did the cover. This is from Marvel, 1945. It is a classic good girl art cover. Just, you know, the typical, you know, boys in the background all staring at her, and she's like posing, totally posing for the boys. Just a really classic beach cover. The back as well, but just, you know, it's always cool to get the first issue of a series, and this is Nellie the Nurse #1. It's a fun one. So, and it's 3-0 cream to off-white, bad grade. Yeah, not a bad one, grade wise. Okay, next one is one that I actually wanted for a while. I always thought this was a cool cover. This is Planet Comics number 30 or 59. And Planet Comics, for those who are not familiar, is really a great mixture of sci-fi and good girl. Just a really good, if you're ever going to get into Golden Age comics, Planet Comics is a good entry point, because the books are maybe not the most affordable, but you can get sort of low grade copies for like $100 to $200 range. Certain covers maybe more than that, but you can get a lot of really great covers for fairly affordable prices, considering. This, I believe it's Joe Doolin did the cover. Yeah, Joe Doolin. You can tell his style by the long legs. That's just sort of a giveaway. And this one's got like the alien invasion going on. And it's just a really cool Mista the Moon cover. And, you know, she's like battling all these little aliens that are coming down. So just a really cool one. Planet Comics I really enjoy. I'd love to have a complete run of Planet Comics. That would be sort of a grail thing for me to achieve. I don't think I'll ever achieve it, but I'm working one at a time. I'm getting there. I'll get there someday. I think I have maybe about 40 issues from the series. So, you know, and there's like I think it's like 60 some odd. How many? 60, I want to say, like, I have the number, last issue behind me. I think it's like 68 is the last issue. Something like that. 68 or maybe 70 something. I'm not sure. Okay, this next one is a really cool comic. I was really excited when I won this one. It's my favorite Hawkman cover of all time. I really like Hawkman as just a visual character. Like, I just think he's a very cool visual character with his big wings and his cool mask. Just a really cool character. Strangely, the reason I like Hawkman is not because of Hawkman, it's because of Flash Gordon. So I know this might sound a weird story, but I have to explain myself. When I was a kid, I was a big fan of the Flash Gordon movie. Had Queen soundtrack. It was just a cool movie. Now, Flash Gordon, when he goes up into space, he meets these characters that are these winged men, and I thought they were really cool. Like, you know, they were all rough and strong and cool, and they were flying in space with their wings, as you do. And I thought they were really cool. And Hawkman really reminded me of those characters. I just really liked them. And so this one is my favorite, all-time, easily favorite Hawkman cover. This is All-Star Comics number 10. And it's just a really great Hawkman cover. He's just like, he's flying down. You see the JSA at the bottom there. And he's just like, you know, just taking up the whole cover. Just being really awesome. And his wings are kind of more like, more feathery in the Golden Age. And it's just really cool book. So this is an E. Hibbard cover, and it's just a really classic Hawkman cover, All-Star number 10. This is another series I'd love to have the full run of. Just so many great covers, so many cool characters introduced in All-Star. If you think about this, this is issue number 10. Number 8 was the very first appearance of Wonder Woman. So this is like early Justice Society of America. And this is from 1942. So, classic book. And you got actually Batman and Superman on the cover as well. Batman, Superman, and the Green Lantern and Flash. It's a very cool book. Okay. Next one is one that I think Steven turned me on to this one. He made me FOMO on it, but I was really excited when I could find it for a great price. And part of the reason this one actually sold for a really very affordable price was it's a Canadian edition. Now, oddly, you know, in the modern age, we think of Canadian editions as commanding more money because they're much rarer than the American editions. Well, in the Golden Age, strangely, it's the opposite way. They're actually as rare. They're actually way more rare than the American editions, but they don't command as much money. They're actually seen as less valuable. Generally, what would happen is the American edition would come out, and then the Canadian edition would come out slightly later, maybe a month or two later. And I think collectors generally want that first appearance or first release. And so these would be kind of not real reprints, but later editions. Like, as I said, a month or two later, or sometimes even the same time. But it'd be a Canadian edition. And so this is Bruce Gentry, number 2. And it's in a high grade, really nice presenting copy. Really great headlight cover. And that's what, when Steven showed this one, I was like, oh, I like that cover. That's a really cool cover. So I had to find it. And it just happened, it came up on auction on Heritage, put in a nice lowball bid, and I won it. I was like, oh, wow. I think I won it for like $100 or something, like 100 and something. You know, for 7.0, I thought, wow, that's a really great price. Yeah, so that's from 1948. Okay, another really big book. I mean, I was shocked, actually, when I got this one. I really didn't expect to win this one because, but this is a bit of a secret, I have to tell you, in terms of Heritage. Heritage has its weird biases. One of its biases that you can actually get steals on Heritage because of this weird bias of Heritage is they really don't like purple labels. They treat purple labels as much less than they should. Like normally purple labels maybe half the value, or in the worst case, like if it's super high grade, maybe a third of the value, or a tenth of the value if it's super high grade. But if it's in low grade, it's maybe 70-80% of the value. But on Heritage, not so much. They really treat the purple label as the purple label of death, and they are ruthless. They do not treat them well. So this is a purple label of death, but it is a key book. I mean, this is a major book. This is Captain Marvel Jr. number 1. like such a major book. Very big key for Captain Marvel Jr. fans. You know, this is a grail. This is actually like a pretty major book. And it is Macroboy cover, and it's the origin of Captain Marvel Jr. retold, Captain Nazi appearance. Now this one is, as I said, restored. It's from 1942. Restoration includes small amount of color touch on cover, pieces added to the cover, tail seals to cover, and it's considered a C2, which is minor to moderate restoration. So there is a bit of restoration on this one, but it presents beautifully, and except for the spine, you can see the spine is really where the grade was lost. But geez, it's so beautiful. That's actually a really nice copy. And I don't mind the restoration. You know, it helped me get a really cool book for a really affordable price, like half what it should have been. Like, just, it was a sweet deal. It was a really great one. Okay. So that was an interesting one. And Captain Marvel sinks the Japs. It's a pretty cool book. Okay, this next one is an interesting one. This is actually a pedigree book. This is Gene Autry Comics number 4. And I don't think people realize that this was a pedigree because I got it for just under $100, I think. It was just under $100. And I thought it was a cool cover. 8.0 copy. I liked it because it's a flame cover. I love these fiery covers. I think they're just cool. You get the hero Gene Autry, and he's saving the little girl. I thought it was really cute. Just a fun cover. I thought this was really great. Maybe not the best stories inside. I'm not a big Gene Autry fan, but got Captain Marvel Jr. on the back. Nice splash page, actually, of Captain Marvel Jr. And this one is a Crowley copy. So very cool pedigree. Didn't have, it's the older label. So if I resubmitted this to CGC, I could get the gold label because it is a Crowley copy. But really cool book. And it's a pedigree. That's, for a pedigree, I actually got it under fair market value for a blue label. It's a high grade, and it's also a pedigree. So lots of bonuses on that one. I didn't even know that it was a pedigree, actually. But that's a nice bonus to discover later. Now this next one is an interesting book. This is a Johnny Hazard. This is actually Johnny Hazard number 5, but it's actually number 1. It's one of those weird ones where for some reason they started with issue number 5. I just thought it was a really great Good Girl cover. Another one I just put in a very, basically, I think it was $30 bid, and then you pay the buyer's premium. I put a very low ball bid on it. But I thought, hey, I just want a cool book. So this is Johnny Hazard number 5, which is number 1, first issue of the series. So I thought that was cool. Not an expensive book normally, actually. It's not like one that's super pricey anyways. But I figured for a graded copy, you know, it's almost the cost of the grading. Why not? It's not that bad. Okay, this next one is another, I think in the previous part I showed another issue from this title. This is issue number 5 of A Girl's Life. And it's just, again, I think it's Al Hartley. Yeah, Al Hartley cover. And yeah, it's like Patsy Walker's A Girl's Life. And it's a nice copy. 6.0, solid copy. Just a really great beauty contest cover. And yeah, I don't know. If you like Patsy Walker, this is a good book to get. So I'll show you the back as well. I don't know. I really like these Good Girl covers. And Marvel did a lot of Good Girl. It was just amazing how much Good Girl they were doing at that time period. This is 1954. And another series that I've been trying to get a pretty good run of And I'm really close to, I think I'm one issue away now from getting the complete run of this one, is Dizzy Dames number 2. This is Dizzy Dames number 2, the one I forgot which issue I'm missing. I think it's number 5 I'm missing. But yeah, Dizzy Dames number 2, really great series. You know, you got, it's basically like a whole bunch of, it's like an anthology series where you have different Ditzy Dames, like more Veronica and, oh, what are the other ones? There's like a bunch of different characters that are in them. I think this is like the Kochek girls or whatever they're called. But they are always they're always getting into big mischief. I actually read a lot of the series. It's quite good. Just funny, just the elaborate stories that they would tell about these very not mentally handicapped, but but close. I don't know, ditzy dames. You know, what else can you say? This is so this one actually probably would have graded higher. I realized that the reason it's graded lower is the bottom staple is missing. Normally that would get you a green label, but they didn't ding it for that. But this is Ditzy Dames number 2 from 1952. I'll show you the back as well. It doesn't say who the cover artist is, but very cool little series. Definitely one worth checking out. Okay, we're getting into the last few books here. And this is another one I've been trying to get for the longest time. And this one does have its issues, but it's not a bad, like if you kind of ignore the side, it's actually a really nice presenting one. I always like this cover. I actually have a Archie comic that is an homage to this. That's really cool as well. But this is a Wally Wood cover, and it's Weird Science and Fantasy number 27. And it's just a really cool book. I mean, just really great good girl, bubble helmets, weird monster guy. The one mistake that I thought with these ones that they did, like these Weird Science and Fantasy, is this rocket ship. Now, maybe you like it. I don't. I find that they could have, if they just took away the rocket ship, I know they were trying to create something cool, but then they could have expanded this beautiful artwork that's on the cover. They really, you know, it's just such a shame that they kind of relegated it to a smaller area, because it's just such a phenomenal cover. I mean, look at this artwork. Let me zoom in for you. And, you know, this was, again, another steal. I was debating about pulling the trigger on one that was actually a 2.0 on eBay, and it was actually more expensive than this one. So I was so excited when I won this for a better price. So yeah, Weird Science and Fantasy number 27. That was on my want list for a long time. Actually, a big win for me. Okay, next one is another one that was actually one that I always love this cover. I just think it's a very cute cover. This one does have issues though. Again, it's a low grade. This is Suzie, number 56, and it's just that classic kind of pinup style cover with the girl kind of like posing. The reason it's a 1/8 is there's this big tear. You can see it right there. It goes right along. And but other than that, it actually presents really quite nicely. It's an Al Fagley cover, and Katie Keene backup story, and Super Duck cameo. That's interesting. So Archie, 1947. So very cool little good girl art comic, Suzie, from Archie Publications. Okay, we got 2 more, and both are big. These are both really big books. This first one is one, like, I like collecting characters' first appearances. And sometimes when you, in the Golden Age especially, that first appearance is only inside the book and not on the cover. And that annoys me, because you kind of want them to be on the cover, because especially if you have a graded book, you can't see that first appearance. They're inside. So I also always try to get their first cover appearance, which usually can go for pretty big money, especially when their first cover appearance is an extremely rare book. This is an extremely rare book, actually rarer than her first appearance. It's a woman. Her first appearance is actually super, super rare. This is rarer because it's the second issue of the series, and it was just one that was always beat up. Rarely, these books were generally just destroyed, and very few survived. This is Pocket Comics #2. Now, Pocket Comics #1 is where Black Cat makes her first appearance. Well, this is her first cover appearance, and it is a great first cover. You got her standing along the side there. You got this weird, I think that's the Claw, or I'm not sure who that is. It kind of looks like the Claw. Or maybe it's Satan. Oh my goodness. It's supposed to be Satan. It's a Joe Simon cover. But it's like a Nazi Satan thing. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. But you got the Black Cat there. Nice Black Cat cover. It's a low grade, but as I said, these were beaten up. These were nickel comics. Actually, was it 10 cents? 10 cents. But they were pocket sized. Why they decided to make it pocket sized? They thought, oh, kids can put it in their pocket. They can enjoy it. They can carry it wherever they go. That was kind of the gimmick. The only problem is kids would end up stealing a lot of these pocket comics. And they would get put in pockets and often destroyed as a result. So this is Hitler appearance, Spirit of 76 battles Satan, Black Cat cover, Joe Simon cover from 1941. Beautiful cover. I love this one. Okay, one last book. It's the big grail of this unboxing. And it is a green label. It is Funnies #30. And this is actually, doesn't look like much. Again, this is, as I was saying, first cover appearances would be nice. First appearances and being on the cover would be great. This book does not have the character on the cover, but it is a major first appearance. This is actually the first appearance of John Carter of Mars in comics. So this is from Dell Publishing, 1939. It's Funnies #30, and it's the first appearance and origin of John Carter of Mars. Isn't that cool? And it's in nice shape, actually, considering it is qualified. Now, what's wrong with it? Let's see what's missing. Piece missing from page 8. Not incomplete. It's just missing a piece. I don't know. It must be a big piece. I don't know what it is, but book presents really, really beautifully. And yeah, get that qualified label because it is a higher. The way the qualified works, just so you know, if it's above a 3, like a 3 or above, they will give it the green label. Now, if it's below a 3, they will give it a blue label, but a 0.5. That's how it works. So because it is a reasonably good grade, they gave it the green label. Now, that does impact the price, and I got this very affordably as a result. I actually got it cheaper, though, than the last green label, Funnies #30, so I was quite happy about that. So, yeah, it's a really cool book. First John Carter of Mars. I just watched the John Carter of Mars movie recently. I actually enjoyed it. Like, I felt like that one was just overlooked by audiences. I don't know. I really enjoyed it, though. Okay, so that's it. That's the finale of this unboxing. I hope you enjoyed all the books that I showed. It was a pretty crazy unboxing. If you haven't watched the other episodes, go back and watch them. There's some pretty cool things that I showed. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this series, please give it a thumbs up. And also, vote for me on the CBCA Awards. The link is in the description. There's 3 categories you can vote for me. Please do so. Vote, vote, vote. And I appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye.